Imagine walking into a room and Vince Gill gets up and leaves before your performance even ends. For 7 artists, this wasn't a hypothetical, it was reality. Gill has called each of them out for pulling country music away from its roots and into dangerous territory. From glossy productions to bloated egos, his grievances paint a brutal picture of modern music's evolution. The first name alone will shock you. Wait until you hear the rest. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Number 1, Kristofferson. Kristofferson is a titan of country music, known for his raw, poetic songwriting and a personality as rugged as the characters in his songs. But for Vince Gill, Kristofferson's legendary status wasn't enough to overlook what he saw as a glaring flaw: his lack of discipline. While Kristofferson's admirers praised his unpolished, almost chaotic style, Gill, a meticulous musician himself, reportedly found it frustrating. To Vince, musical excellence wasn't just about storytelling, it was about precision, work ethic, and respect for the craft. This clash famously came to a head during a CMA rehearsal where Kristofferson's laid-back approach rubbed Gill the wrong way. Accounts suggest that Kristofferson's performance was loose, maybe too loose for Gill's taste, and led him to walk out mid-rehearsal. For Gill, it wasn't personal, it was about values. Romanticizing chaos and artistry, he believed, sent the wrong message about music's foundation: hard work and mastery. But Chris wasn't alone in challenging Vince's vision of country music. There were more names, and each one pushed Vince in a different way. Number 2, Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks is a cultural phenomenon, the kind of artist whose name is synonymous with massive success. With over 170 million records sold, he shattered records and pushed country music into arenas it had never seen before, both figuratively and literally. But Vince Gill saw a different side of Brooks's meteoric rise, one that he believed marked a dangerous turning point for the genre. To Gill, Brooks's focus on creating a commercially driven empire came at the cost of the genre's heart, its storytelling soul. One incident that reveals this tension came when Vince refused to present Brooks with a Lifetime Achievement Award, citing his belief that country music's traditions were overshadowed by the visual spectacle and marketing machine surrounding Brooks's career. Gill publicly voiced his critique of stadium-sized country shows, which he felt distorted the intimacy and authenticity that had always defined the genre. For him, the spectacle was drowning out the art. Brooks's dominance in Gill's eyes symbolized the moment when country started chasing profitability over its roots, a shift only amplified by an artist up next. Number 3, Billy Ray Cyrus. Billy Ray Cyrus skyrocketed to fame in 1992 with his breakout hit, Achy Breaky Heart, a song that became an almost instant cultural phenomenon. For many, it was a fun, lighthearted anthem. For Vince Gill, however, it was something else entirely, a symbol of everything he felt was wrong with the direction country music was heading. Gill once jokingly remarked that the song set country music back decades, but behind the humor was a deeper criticism. He saw it as more than just a catchy tune. It was an affront to the musicianship and substance that the genre once prided itself on. Gill didn't just keep his disapproval to one-line quips. He reportedly avoided collaborating with Cyrus entirely, sending a clear message about his feelings toward what he viewed as image-driven novelty acts. To Vince, Achy Breaky Heart wasn't harmless entertainment. It represented a growing trend of flash over depth, where style often took precedence over artistry. And while Billy Ray ignited a conversation about where country music belonged, another artist would soon shift those boundaries even further into pop territory. Number 4, Shania Twain. Shania Twain's rise in the 1990s changed country music forever. Blending pop production with country roots, she brought a glossy crossover appeal that captivated millions. Her success was undeniable. Enormous album sales, sold-out tours, and an entirely new kind of audience. But not everyone saw it as a victory. Vince Gill, a vocal protector of traditional country music, was deeply critical of what Twain represented. To him, her influence marked a shift that prioritized trends over talent. He famously said, "Sometimes we forget what genre we're in," a pointed comment on how pop influences were overshadowing the essence of country. Gill also lamented the impact on fans, remarking that the rise of pop country had alienated a generation of listeners who connected with the genre's heartfelt storytelling. The fact that he and Twain never collaborated, despite dominating country music at the same time, spoke volumes. Whether it was a duet, an award show performance, or anything in between, their paths never crossed professionally. Gill saw Twain's success as a tipping point, one that pushed country music further from its roots and closer to being a pop product. Number 5. Jason Aldine. Jason Aldine became the poster child for the rise of bro country, a subgenre that exploded in popularity with its loud guitars, party-focused lyrics, and unapologetic appeal to rural escapism. His songs celebrated trucks, whiskey, and tailgates with anthemic choruses designed to dominate radio airwaves and fill arenas. But Vince Gill saw something different, a movement that, in his eyes, stripped country music of its depth and authenticity. Gill's feelings toward Aldine's style were clear, not just in his words, but also in his actions. He reportedly declined to attend events where Aldine was the featured headliner, a silent but pointed statement against what he felt was turning country music into a marketing machine. Gill openly stated, "I think we've dumbed it down," a sharp critique of the subgenre's hollow lyrics and surface-level appeal. For Vince, Aldine symbolized a shift from genuine storytelling to commercialized theatrics, a departure he couldn't support without compromising his values. Number 6. Kanye West. Kanye West is one of the most recognizable figures in music, a global icon whose boldness has earned him both admiration and controversy. His larger-than-life persona and self-proclaimed title as the greatest artist of all time have fueled the perception of ego as central to his artistry. For Vince Gill, this kind of self-promotion stood in stark contrast to what he valued in music: humility, sincerity, and a desire to connect rather than dominate. In a 2016 interview, Gill commented on younger artists entering the industry, saying, "I see young artists walk into a room and expect the world to bow." While Gill didn't name anyone specifically, the timing of this remark drew connections to West's public declaration of greatness, made just months before. Number 7. Modern bro country. Modern bro country isn't just a subgenre, it's become a defining force in today's country music. But for Vince Gill, it represents something much bigger, a direct challenge to the soul of the genre itself. Known for its heavy guitars, slick production, and lyrics that often focus on tailgates, trucks, and late-night parties, bro country tends to lean heavily on image and simplicity, rather than the nuanced songwriting Gill has championed throughout his career. For him, country music was always rooted in storytelling, not branding. Gill has been vocal about his frustrations with this shift, famously stating, "I think we've dumbed it down." His criticism wasn't just about the music, it was about the message, a loss of emotional depth and authenticity replaced by shallow commercialized themes. "There's room for fun in music," he acknowledged, "but let's not pretend it's country just because there's a pickup truck in the video." Vince Gill's legacy reflects an unwavering dedication to the soul of country music. As the genre shifted, he stood firm, prioritizing storytelling and craftsmanship over fleeting trends. While others embraced commercial appeal, Gill remained committed to values he considered non-negotiable: humility, sincerity, and artistry. His actions, from declining collaborations to speaking out about the industry's changes, weren't just critiques, they were acts of preservation. Gill's ability to push back against what he saw as threats cemented his place as a guardian of tradition. Now it's up to fans and artists alike to decide if those roots are worth protecting.